State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the top.
They take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Ryan Williams. Still spinning free. Touchdown. The touchdown, the first possession, back in the game. And he's loose again. Edwards off and running. Welcome back, Donovan Edwards.
He's going for the corner. He's got it.
This is the Gridiron Uncensored.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast. I'm rolling solo tonight for everybody watching and also listening on the podcast. If you can't see us, it's just me. Trev's under the weather, but we got to keep the show rolling, and we got previews, man. It's preview season. People want to know what their teams are looking like, what outsiders might think of them, and that's what we're doing. And, of course, we're starting off with a group of 5 and telling you guys what we think, who can make it from the group of 5, who can contend for their conference championships, but also, in turn, who can contend for the playoff spot or maybe an extra one. Who knows? It depends on all the chaos around them. We're going in today. We're going to talk about James Madison on this first one and kind of doing a series. But again, we're breaking them down individually on our YouTube show so that way you guys can really get an in-depth and just focus on the one team as opposed to trying to sift through and, look at other teams that you probably don't give a damn about. So either way, let's go. JMU, that's the first one on the list. And we're going to talk 2024 real quick. Let me pull this up. So you look at the 2024 schedule, and it's the first year after Signetti left, and he moved on to Indiana. He had brought a lot of his team with him, from JMU. A lot of talent left, moved with him to Indiana. So you're like, how are you going to do in the first year after? And I'm going to be honest, I kind of counted them out. I wasn't expecting them to have a great season last year, just because it's so hard when you new coaching, so many people leave, all this stuff. But to be honest with you, they had a pretty good year at 9-4. It was 4-4 in the Sun Belt, but still, you come out and Chesney has a good season. Like I said, you see it right here on the screen, 9-4 overall. Start off winning, you go out and what a game against North Carolina. I know they're a dumpster fire at the time, and probably honestly with the Bill Belichick shit going on, they still kind of are. But still, you go out there and you put 70 up on them, and then you stumble at ULM. You stumble again at Georgia Southern. And not saying these are bad teams at all, but it's just things you were doing so well, and then you just have those little stumbles. Then you get on a little win streak there, and then you go take a loss to Appalachian State and then Marshall. But you do get a win against Western Kentucky, which was a solid team last year. So that's something to build on, that 9-4 season. And now you're moving into 2025, and you're hoping to build off that. You need to build off that. And we're going to look I'm going to look at the talent here and see what we got on offense and defense. Coaching changes real quick. Rich Rogers comes in. He's associate head coach. And then Bryson comes in. He's an analyst. Just a couple guys that they brought in this year to help bolster that coaching staff. The other one is Eric Melee, I think it is, assistant special teams coach. So they're plussing up the numbers. They've added a couple more analysts from what I was reading, but nothing crazy outside of those main 3 that I mentioned. So that's they're trying to build that continuity, trying to build that coaching staff up, and solid moves from everything that I have been reading on them. I think Chesney's pretty happy with his staff. So let's move on from staff. We're gonna I'm not going to dig into that too much. Chesney did a good job. I think the team trusts what he's doing. I think the fan base can already feel trust in what he's building. So let's look at the portal class and see what are they going to do to plus this up and try to make a run for the conference championship, which I believe the feeling around the team is that they can do that. Sluka was the main one from the original catastrophe last year when he had at UNLV. Doing great. He won some big games early, with his grit, but and then it was like a midseason issue, and he left. NIL, whatever the hell's going on. sorry, I forgot to take that down. Like I said, one-man show. All right, give me a break. But again, Sluka, he just had that issue, and it was NIL, all this other stuff, bad press around him. So I'm curious to see, what he did in this offseason of waiting and then transferring, and how that builds into this team unit over here at JMU. But not only did they bring him in, they also brought in Coleman. All right, and he honestly is a better passer from what I've watched on tape, and the reports out of spring too is that he's just a more polished passing quarterback than what you see from Sluka. And I think Sluka, kind of, we talked about UNLV already. I think it's going to be similar to that system where you have a better passing quarterback, and then you use Sluka in situations and get him running the ball. He's a tough runner. That's what I would see happening. But again, I don't know. For the guys that you JME fans, let me know, what are you seeing? What are you hearing from your insiders? Because again, we're looking from the outside in. We cover the whole landscape of college football. So I would say that Coleman's probably going to be your starter. Coming in from Richmond, he's brought some other guys with him, some wide receiver help, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I do think Sluka will be used in certain roles and certain landscapes. So that's what I'm seeing at the quarterback battle. That's what I've been reading up on. Again, let me know if there's something different or something new has come out since. The wide receiver core was something that last year I thought could step up a little bit more, and hopefully they can do that this year. There was incoming portal help, but also there's a young guy, Mike Scott. He supposedly had a really nice spring and stepped up big. So that's somebody that they're looking to build from the recruiting side too. We talk about it, especially for the group of five, it's going to be tough because you're getting rated. You're contending not only in the recruiting classes, but also in the transfer portal as well. And that's really tough. But if you can continue to recruit and build that depth and then just plug and play guys from the portal as you go, you're going to have better chance at building that camaraderie and continuity. So again, wide receiver help coming in, Wazlowski coming in from Maryland, and then a couple other guys they brought in, Sanchez over from Villanova, and I'm just going through the list here. A couple guys from the FCS ranks, but really, I think the guys that are on the depth chart can step up and help out Coleman and get some separation. Wide running back, I think it's going to be fine. The run game should be really solid. Petaway was a nice running back, and I think that's not going to be an issue at all. The biggest thing that I saw as an issue was the offensive line depth. Lost a couple of guys in the portal, and that again, that's tough to replace. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, like 4, 5, 6 linemen, jump ship. But they did get a couple in the portal to try and help out. And the one that I marked down, Cam McNair from Holy Cross, seems to be the guy that's already in the rotation there, solidifying himself as somebody that can either be a starter or get in there and push the other guys. So offense, I think they're going to be just fine with a quarterback that's pretty accurate and a strong running back. If the first 5 on that O line can be fine, then you're going to be good. Offensively, I think there won't be too big of a problem unless you start getting injuries, and that depth up front could hurt you. Defensive side, 2024, they led the Sun Belt, and total defense anyway. And that's something that you can build on, and you try to lead into that. Stopping the run is paramount. We all know that. And that's something that they can do, and they need to continue to do this year. The D-line depth is, again, what I want to see. Trying to think, lost a couple in the portal, but nothing, crazy in my opinion. But when it comes down to it, you brought in a couple of guys that might be able to help. And, if you can do that and you can keep pushing your pass rush and, clogging that middle, this team has a very good chance, in my opinion, to go for that, that conference championship game. And so you're looking, again, defense. Losing O'Neal to Rutgers, that one hurt. outside of that, Holmes coming in from Maine, that should be something that can really plug and play really. Uh, Not to be, I guess, cliche with that phrase, but that's what it is. That's what you're hoping for from the portal. Um, Looking at more linebacker depth, I think that's good. I think you guys are strong there, and again, that pushes into the stopping the run, force teams to try and pass, and just sometimes you might have to live by the sword, die by the sword. But that's the nature of the beast. And then looking at the defensive backside of the defense, um, I think the portal helped you guys. I didn't see anybody really that jumped off the page to me as like a huge asset, but Ken Wills comes in, as a safety help. Um, Outside of that, uh, Harley coming in from Maryland again at cornerback. Uh, I think you're going to be all right there, but you need that front to really push to protect your defensive backs. Justin, I believe it's Eglin. He's somebody that they're looking at that needs to have a big year from JMU's defensive side. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on this team. I think defensively, you're going to be all right. A little bit worried about the back end. But you've got pieces all over. I think this team is still going to be able to build off of the 2024 year and make a push for their conference and also pushing, maybe for the playoffs. It just depends, of course, on all the chaos around them. So let's look at the 2025 schedule. I'm going to pull it up, and like again, it's just me, so not really having anybody bounce this off. So the schedules, or excuse me, the episodes are going to be a little bit quicker than what they have been, but it's all good. Again, let us know what you guys think. All right, let's look at this 2025 schedule. And, it starts off, you get a warm up. You get to see what the quarterback's doing. You get to figure out your O-line and D-line pieces, and you got to make those decisions quick because immediately after you go on the road to Louisville. And that's going to be a dangerous game. Everybody's talking up this Louisville team. But, hey, you guys went out and you knocked down North Carolina. I know it's not the same, but hey, maybe you guys can work some magic. All right. And after that, then you get another tough one against Liberty, Georgia Southern, who beat you last year. And then you go and you play Georgia State, Louisiana, which is always a tough, really a dangerous team to play. And then Old Dominion. You get a little break. You play Texas State, Marshall, App State, Washington State, and then Coastal Carolina. So really, to me, when I look at the schedule, the front half is the hardest. In obviously now, Weber State, get past that, but the three straight of Louisville, Liberty, Georgia Southern, and Georgia Southern's another team that I kind of have in this respect of I think they can push for conference championship. I think they're a team that can make a run. So that those first couple of games are something you guys really need to watch out on. But in the end, this is going to be a good team. I think they're well coached, and offensively, that's going to be your ticket. Strong run game. Use Sluka in certain packages. Get the running game just pounded out, and then get the wide receivers involved. Get the transfers, really running up through the summer here and fall ball. And I think this team is something that can push again for 9 wins. I'm looking at, I was trying to find over-unders and stuff, and it's kind of hard right now. I feel like half the group of 5 teams I've been looking at, they don't have any of those betting lines out for those that are interested. But on JMU's side, I think most were saying, hey, expect the over-under to be around the 8.5 mark. And, with their returning production, it's in the high 50s. Portal, they had a 79th class. And again, with what they have already in the coaching staff, I think this is a team that can probably get that 9, maybe 10 wins, depending. But, even if you chalk Louisville up as a loss, you chalk Liberty as a loss, depending. I don't know. I think this team can beat Liberty. But still, I think there can be 10 wins on the schedule. I'd say a floor probably is in the 8 range. And that's something I'd say that JMU fans would probably be happy with. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what's something that you guys expect from this season in this roster that you guys have built up. Like I said, I'm taking the over. I'll probably go 9 is where I'd sit. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys like the episode. Let me know anything I missed. any big players that you guys have been following this spring, and that you are really excited to see play on the field this year, and what can maybe get them to that conference championship that we know that they're longing for. So again, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe, like, and I'll get better at removing the pictures from the screen so I can look at your beautiful faces. All right, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you around.